Hey everyone, we are back at the ADRET factory today, and I'm going to go through some of the equipment that is needed for cable fault location. First of all, you need to determine what type of fault you have and do you have a fault. For this, we would use a good quality insulation tester. This one goes up to 15,000 volts, and it does have a built-in multimeter as well that can measure resistance faults and resistance faults and amps. Okay, so once that test is done, you will determine what type of fault you're sitting with. That will then determine what equipment you're going to use. If you have, which is 90% of the time, a high resistance fault, then you are going to need your thumper. You are also going to utilize a scope for pre-location, and then a ground microphone. The ground microphone is to here and to pinpoint where the fault is. If you have a low resistance fault, anything from 0 to 100 ohm, you're only going to use your scope with these clamps to use the TDR function. For high resistance faults, we will usually, well not usually, we will use the thumper with the scope. The scope is there to give us a reflection to determine, or not a reflection, a measurement to determine where the fault is, how far the fault is from us. And in TDR modes, it can also help us determine length of cable. There's a lot of settings and the questions that the machine will ask you. What's your velocity of your cable? What is the length of the total length of the cable? And after you've answered these questions, it will give you the distance to fault. Once you have distance to fault, and you know where the route or roundabout where the cable is going, if you don't, it's not a big problem. Then you will go to your ground microphone. Your ground microphone has two functions. It picks up the magnetic pulse that's going down the cable every time that the surge generator thumps. With that magnetic signal, you can stay on top of your cable by means of magnetic receiver, which is usually set to about 0 or to about the middle of the gauge. So any deflection downwards would tell you that you're off of your cable and you need to move around to get back onto the proper route. And then it will hear the fault and deflect acoustically the fault. The other buttons are simple. The battery test button to tell you how strong your batteries are. These units are rechargeable, and they do use lithium-ion batteries. And then also you would physically hear the fault or the thump of the fault by means of these ears. So that is basic cable fault location and the equipment needed for cable fault location. For more information, please contact ADRET. Go to the website www.adrettest.com or give us a shout at Southern Africa Fault Location. You are more than welcome to come and have a chat with us about your situation and what you want to test, and if it's anything to do with cable fault location and testing, we will be able to assist.